let's start with your view of the world. First quarter net income came in at $245 million. The market had penciled in 275. You are the front end of global trade. Give me your perspective as we stand right now. Are we edging towards a slowdown? How would you define activity in the world?
Macroeconomically, we are actually very pleased to see how the world economy is developing at the moment. And what we have seen in the first quarter when it comes to the container business is actually quite strong demand. You haven't seen that entirely in our results yet, but we definitely see better market conditions in container liner towards the end of the quarter than what we have seen throughout the quarter. So it's an optimistic answer from my side.
Jakob, why have the analysts got it wrong? I mean, at least as far as net income, you came out with 245. They were looking for 275. What did they miss, and what advice would you give them for this current quarter?
So we only give guidance on a yearly basis, and our particularly container liner business has a lot of seasonality. First quarter is a difficult quarter because you got the Chinese New Year with a lot of disruptions in freights, etc. So we are basically on track to deliver on our guidance for the year. In fact, we feel quite confident after the first quarter and after having seen improved market conditions, better supply demand in container liner and stronger freight rates.
Jakob, you talk about your guidance 2 to 4% for 2017, and you've just reaffirmed that there to us now. I want to talk about the risk and the reward side of this trade. From what you've seen from Donald Trump in terms of Xi Jinping, the choreography, the language, etc., does that give you more optimism about US-China relations, and are you less fearful of a trade war? Benchmark for me.
So first of all, we observe the world we are living in right now, and there we actually see good growth in international trade. The latest statistics are actually very optimistic. We now see it looks like freight volumes have grown to the tune of 6% in the first quarter. So there's really not a lot of concern in the very short term. How things develop longer terms is I think is speculation. But the way we see container transport and international trade, it does track international growth quite well. And as the world is growing, the U.S. economy is growing, the Chinese economy is growing, and the European economy is actually growing stronger than last year. That gives us good hope also for growth in international trade.
What do you expect as far as M&A this year? I mean, I know it's a focus for your executive managed group. You're obviously watching it closely. Any more purchases on the horizon?
So we have just as late as 2 weeks ago announced the final contract signing of the acquisition of Hamburg Süd. And therefore, the focus in Maersk right now is to finalize this acquisition, get it approved with the authorities, and integrate it well. But what you have seen last year, it was a difficult year for container liner, but what came out of it was an unprecedented amount of consolidation. So a lot of deals have been announced, and they now have to close, and we will see how the industry will look like after this wave of consolidation. It's going to be interesting to watch.